What is happening right now in the program? I understand the event was meant to kick off at 9:30. Where are we currently and who's on the lineup?
Yes, good morning. We're coming to you live from Mthonjaneni in KwaZulu-Natal, where the Minister Bathabile Dlamini, is expected to launch the program. We understand that the program was supposed to start at 9:30, but we were told that the Minister started somewhere in the church where she's attending a church service. But behind me are the hundreds of people who are still streaming in for this launch of 16 days of activism campaign in KwaZulu-Natal. We know that the Minister is expected to highlight and give us the highlights of the programs that her department is going to embark on in this period of 16 days, where they will be talking to issues that affect women and children. We know that specifically in KwaZulu-Natal, there's been a significant number of accidents. If we can quote maybe the few, there was one incident where a student of Mangosuthu University of Technology, Zolile Kumalo, was killed by her boyfriend. That was one of the matters that was being spoken about in the media, and it was well spoken around throughout the country. So we expect the minister to talk about that, and also another issues. We know that in the area of Manguzi, which is in the far northern KwaZulu-Natal, there's been an incident where a teacher has been reportedly impregnated 5 school children, 4 from the same school and 1 from a nearby school. So those are the issues that we expect the minister to speak about. In the next few minutes, we expect the minister to walk in this hall where we are, where she will be launching the program.
To speak to the attendees at today's event, because looking at the people in the background, it seems as though many of those in attendance are women. And of course, as the conversation has been going nationally around the total shutdown as well as the gender summit, which happened recently, men also do need to be part of this dialogue. They need to be included or bring themselves into these spaces, because obviously we cannot have this conversation without the perpetrators, who generally tend to be men, of gender-based violence. Where are the men in the room, if any? Have you had an opportunity to speak to them? And what are the women in attendance saying to you?
Okay, so far we haven't been able to speak to anyone, but I understand that part of Minister's program this year is also engaging with men and boys who are allegedly the perpetrators of this kind of violence. So we know that the Minister will give us the highlights of how is she going to sit down with men, because there have been a complaint or a concern from the wider spread of the country saying that in all these kinds of events, as we are saying that behind me, the majority of people who are attending this event are women and children. So, but there are very few men who are here. We are also hoping that as the program goes on, we'll also be able to get men to hear from themselves what do they think will be the solution in this kind of problem that is facing the country. Another issue that has been prevalent in KwaZulu-Natal is the issue of Ubutwala, which is the abduction of girls into a forced marriages. So we expect that Minister will also talk about that, and will also try to get men to hear from themselves what do they think needs to be done.
Any sense on the program of having various other stakeholders included or speaking today, from traditional leaders to stakeholders from the justice system? Because obviously it needs to be a multi-pronged program, or a multi-pronged
leaders. So we know that as soon as traditional leaders, they took to themselves that they speak to people that they lived with, it's very easy for them to translate the message in a way that people can understand. So we expect that some of people that will be speaking here, especially the traditional leaders, will be able to take the message direct to people that they know they live in this area.
Thank you very much. That was our reporter, Thuba Vilane.